Hello, hello, hello. If you can hear me, please either say something or just type in your chat box for me. Yeah, welcome to the workshop today about.
Hello.
Hi, is this Joe?
Yeah,
Hi, Joe. How are you?
good. Thank you.
Joe, are you based in the San Jose Bay Area?
Yeah.
Nice. And out of curiosity, Joe, are you currently trading at this point in time? Are you getting into trading? Where are you?
Second one. Yeah.
You're new to trading.
Yeah. Actually, I need to attend to something at the same time. So it's okay if I put you on mute.
Okay, no worries.
We talk.
Sounds good. And if you
Yeah,
have any
because I need
questions,
to.
let me know,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I'm gonna record it anyway. So okay,
Okay.
no problem.
Thank you. Okay.
You're welcome. So here we go. Here we are. You see here the topic is the process on how to be a consistent, profitable trader. And if you have any questions, Joe, just please feel free to ask. All right, let's continue. So as a form of a risk disclosure that I'm here to give you solid information. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not here to give you any form of advice, just giving you the facts and not the myths of trading, that before you step into investing or trading, that it is very imperative to get some form of education. And whatever I'll be showing you, that past results are not considered a reliable guide to future results, as the future always changes and everybody's different. So the topic is simply how to improve your trading results. I believe there's 5 simple steps to be a consistent, profitable trader. At this point in time, Joanna, you're attending to something. What do you think are your major challenges that you're currently facing right now when it comes to trading? Is it maybe not knowing what to trade? Maybe perhaps still you're in the process of finding a solid place to learn or a company where you want to learn. What would it be, Joe, if you don't mind me asking? Okay, no worries. Maybe we'll just discuss into that then some other time. All right. What will be the agenda? I don't think I have met you before, Joe. Maybe perhaps you got me through the meetup group or through Facebook or through referral. But other than that, I'll just introduce a bit about myself, the why traders lose, and then we're going to go through the process based on the 5 steps on how to improve your trading results. And if you have any questions and answers, please feel free. Okay, so I started trading in 1996. My background, I started in terms of my major is physics and mathematics and computer science and mathematics. I graduated in 93 and 96. And then when I started work, I got involved with a friend of mine who I met at work and started trading. And so that's how I got into it. And like everybody else, I don't like to do it simply something that I don't know just through reading or simply just doing by myself. So I went to workshops, seminars, paid my dues, paid a lot of money. And then when I moved to the US, after competing, I used to represent Australia in Taekwondo and I competed worldwide. I ended up in the US, funny enough. So I met my ex-wife, the kids. I have 2 kids, and the mother of my kids overseas. She's American, and that's how I ended up over here. Because of my passion with trading, I wanted to know more about the educational industry in the US, and I guess very logical type of individual. I wanted to know more on how to get in where institutions are getting in, rather what retailers are getting in. And that's where my whole style of trading have changed significantly. So I found the company in 2003 back in Melbourne, Australia. That's where I grew up. Started just trading, teaching friends, and then became referrals, and then all of a sudden started teaching more people, and then moved here in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley. I just basically work from home because of with technology, people don't really want to come to the office. They would rather be at home, and maybe with the preference of at home and using their computer. Okay, and then so I mainly focus on the learning process to be a consistent, profitable trader. And oh, sorry, the video is not been running. So here I am. Nice meeting you, Joe. Okay, and I'm here basically in my home office in Cupertino. So we focus on the process to be consistent, profitable traders. So if you're new to trading, I recommend for you not to focus about making money. And the reason because if you're focusing on making money, then you're not going to be focused on the process on how to make money. Then you're going to create bad habits, and which you don't want to do, which we're going to go through that in terms of the 5 steps. Fourth, we focus mainly on world-class athlete training techniques that I implement in terms of the training program. And the reason being, I believe there's a process. And it doesn't matter whether in your career, if you're a programmer, a doctor, a lawyer, there's a process and stages in between. And if you are a martial artist or you're in sports or an athlete, you cannot compete in the world-class Olympic competitiveness if you don't start competing first in the club level, and then you're showing consistency, then you compete on the state level, from a state level, then a national level, and then world-class level. So in my opinion, I believe in trading is the same. It's actually the same. It is not. The only difference is simply there's no physical contact, and hence we focus on the quality and not the quantity in trading. Lastly, we focus on the discipline. Mainly, it takes a lot of discipline, integrity, and excellence. We don't focus on perfectionism. We focus more on the growth mindset way of learning how to trade, because the more mistakes you do, then the more you're going to learn. It's the opposite, rather than focusing on winning, and then hence, you're focusing on the perfectionism of winning. You're not focusing now on the process, on what to learn and what to grow basically from there. Okay, so myself, you can, once we're finished here, I have your email. I'm more than happy to give you a copy of my book, basically via an ebook. So I'm an athlete. I call myself a trader athlete, likewise as a coach, mentor, and a rigorous speaker and contributor when it comes to trading. So my purpose is simply to inspire you here, Joe, simply to give you the awareness and give you the pitfalls of trading. Not here to, like I said, to sell you anything. If you choose to go ahead with us, fantastic. I'm more than happy for you to be in our team. But if not, hey, you know what? At least I'm giving you some solid piece of information, something that you can think and be aware that before you step in, put money into trading, that you're aware of the information I'm about to give you, because you can either make a lot of money or lose a lot of money. 2018, I'm not gonna lie, hey, look, it goes up and down. It's a bull market, and yet I lost. Why? Because out of the whole month in one trade, because of one mistake, I basically gave everything back. So hence, what's the whole process basically from there? The whole process is to go back, reflect upon it. Okay, what did I do? What can I improve? What can I change? So we have a group community, and the majority here live in the Bay Area, and we meet on a daily basis through our classes, and we go through, and hence by also being aware of all the mistakes and like sharing it to traders, people who are learning how to trade, then quote unquote, hopefully they won't basically do it. However, they also have to be reliable or to be responsible and accountable with their own actions. And lastly is my goal is to reduce the 75 to 95% of retail traders that lose money basically from trading. So that's my purpose. So here are some of the reasons why traders lose. These are the truths, these aren't the facts, these are not myths. One, they don't have a trading plan, have the lack of knowledge, the lack of skills, the lack of experience. There's no mentoring, no coaching, focus on the outer game of trading, not the inner game. Outer game is simply all about systems. They're not focused about the mental component. They trade for fun, the lack of preparation from the no trading plan. They see trading as a hobby. It is not a hobby. Trading is a business, even if you do it part-time. And they trade the market to beat the market and wants to be right. Okay, so those are the major truths and facts on why traders lose. No support system. And I believe this is where you're at. If you just started, then there's a plethora of pieces of information there, Joe, and this is where people get confused. There's Forex, stocks, futures, options, CFDs, warrants, and then there's technical analysis compared to fundamental analysis. And then some of them, then there's news. Some will say you don't need news. The next thing you know, there's more stuff like Elliott wave theory, Gantt theory, ABC trading, you support resistance, head and shoulder patterns, and you have Fibonacci's. Then you have to learn risk management. Then you need to learn how to manage your own emotions. So money management. So there is a lot of things happening all at once that makes it confusing, that makes it challenging. And people at the beginning think that it's an easy way to make money. Yes, it is easy once you have the right process. Other than that, if you don't, it is challenging to make money from trading. And so the goal is to be consistent. So what is consistency? Well, according to dictionary.com, that is a conformity in the application of something, typically that which is necessary for the sake of logic, accuracy, or fairness. That's what consistency is. So here are some of examples of what we do. And of course, these are already been passed, but we know the win to lose ratio, when we know the probabilities. And the reason being is because the student or the member has to back test it. They need to put in trades, practice trades, and a lot of live trades to create some form of statistical data. And hence, we have 3 different methods that gives different results. And at the same time, there's also different strategies, very similar to playing poker, like a royal flush strategy, giving 100% probability despite no guarantees. I say that because you have 100% probability based on the piece of information that it's given to you. Hence, when you're using technical analysis, you're forecasting. When you're forecasting something, you need statistical data, some facts to create the probability. Hence, we don't gamble. Gambling is when you're using your own perception to enter a trade, which you don't want to do. Then we have what we call a trifecta strategy based on those 3 methods. It goes 1, 2, 3, and then that's where you hence here trifecta 1, 2, and 3. Then we have method 3 based on, it's a beautiful methodology. It's a retail-based methodology. And then what we call the STS strategy, sequential transitioning, where you are ahead out of everybody. Hence, you're trading actually with institutions. What we tend to do is simply we are observers. We observe institutional trading, and we're not being a retailer. Okay, so we're on the opposite side. All right, so those are some examples. So the most important part is to have a clear picture of what you want simply as a trader. So there's 5 simple steps how to improve your trading results. So to be consistent, 1, it is imperative to know your intention. Simply first, you need to know why you want to trade. You need to know the trading game. You need to know that trading is not a hobby, but hence it's a business. Then you need to know whether you're going to trade part-time or full-time based on your current circumstances, and how will you learn it, okay? So my opinion, don't learn by yourself, please. I would not recommend that, rather than you not trade at all if that would be the case. So once you have defined a clear picture of what you want and why you want to trade, then you will need to know the definition of trading. The first time I went to a trading workshop, just also assessing what I want to learn and so forth. And the teacher basically said this, that trading is a transference of wealth between the idiot and the well-informed. It got stuck into my head ever since then, which makes sense very much, because the idiot simply gambles, simply doesn't have the facts, simply doesn't have the information, and it's a transference from that person to another person who is well informed. So in trading, you need a lot of information, pieces of information, in order for you to get in or to get out. So that's why it's a really good definition of what trading is. So at the same time, it all depends as well on what you've heard when it comes to trading, because it creates a belief. So for example, a belief system would be, it's hard to make money from trading. The question is, why? Because that experience of already, that the person maybe experienced losing a lot because of the lack of knowledge, the lack of experience, and hence created a belief that trading is hard. But in actual fact, it's not hard. It has got the only challenge the person basically, or every individual will have, is through our emotions, through the 6 inches between our ears. So for me, trading is like sports, and the reason being because it is a skill. It takes time to master the skill. It takes a lot of knowledge and experience to be consistent. You cannot compete, like I said, in a world-class level if you're a novice. To be an elite, you will need to prove to yourself that you can be consistent at club level, then state level, national level, then world-class level. Can everybody be traders? Absolutely, as long as they have the right attitude and that they're willing to work. There's no easy way out. And when it comes to success, and I know you know that, Joe, and it takes 10,000 hours that has been proven by scientists that to master a skill, it takes 10,000 hours. It doesn't matter what you do. So you will need a coach, and perhaps more than one coach if you want to be good at something. The coach corrects your technique. The coach will motivate you and push your limits to go to the next level. You'll need a good support system. You'll need trading partners. You cannot succeed simply on your own. So the tip that I could be able to give you is that don't make the same mistake that the majority of people do who wants to trade, is simply learning how to trade by themselves in trading, and you cannot succeed on your own. So here are also the reasons why. Because if you trade on your own, you only see 180 degrees that's in front of you. You'll never see 180 degrees that's behind you. That's impossible unless you have a coach and will give you that awareness of the 180 degrees that you don't see. And then, oh, okay, got it. Now that I know that based on my experience and I can be aware of it, then I will be able to change something about myself. They lose more consistently because there's no mentoring, no coaching, they're second guessing, and hence very subjective. And you're being subjective, then you're being an amateur and you're just simply gambling. Create bad habits, instant gratification to make money, no trading partner. So if you trade in a team environment, on the other hand, you will achieve 360 degrees. That's not just 180, but the whole 360 degrees. You will win more consistently. You'll have numerous coaches. You'll have 100% objectivity. Hence, you won't be a gambler. You create excellent habits where techniques are being corrected. So the more losses you have, the better it is actually for you. So you can be able to see in terms of the improvements and the progression. Everything, in my opinion, is about progression. And hence, the numerous trading partners are what you're going to have, because in our group, you cannot just be a student. You're also going to be a coach, because by sharing within the whole community, when we're in a coaching environment, then you share your experience, then you're no longer as well as a student. Okay, so traders who trade by themselves on average loses about 50 to 100% of their accounts in the first 3 years of live trading. Okay, or trading live. Traders in a team environment, on the other hand, so we started with a $500 account where the member has to prove to themselves, not towards me, but to themselves, that would be able to be consistent. And from there, they will have to, if they're now confident enough, then they increase their capital until they trade on a normal account than trading on a world-class event. In a team environment, you're more likely to win. Here I bring members once a year to the CBOE because the CME is closed, and in New York it's actually challenging to get in. So CBOE, through contacts, I say we'll be able to at least bring some members and be able to see the mechanics behind trading. Okay? And then for them to actually see the difference between retail trading and institutional trading. So knowing the trading game is simply knowing who's going to win. So if you're placing a bet, say on a horse race, there's no way you would be able to know who's going to win. You won't be able to know who's going to win between these two teams. You won't be able to know whether if you're going to buy or sell and which part of the trading arena you're going to be getting at, on the selling side or the buying side. So by you knowing the mechanics or giving the statistical data, the pieces of information, regardless whether you want to place a bet through horse race or through a basketball game, you will need to know the players, the statistics of the horse, the statistics of the team, and hence you also need to know some facts in terms of statistics, some form of mathematical data that you would be able to create for yourself, the probability. And hence when you create the probability, then you can place the bet either to the selling side or to the buying side. Here, if you're going to make a bet, you would need to be on the, well, seriously, you won't be able to get in over here anymore because a lot of, most cases, everything is now computerized, and hence only institutions are actually going to be on the trading floor. As long as there's an open outcry, there's still going to be an open market. What do you want to be? You don't want to be on this side, being a retail trader. So there's a big difference between institutional trading and retail trading. Retail trading is simply individual investors who buy and sell securities for their personal account and not for another company or organization. Institutional traders, on the other hand, deal or trade on the with a lot of resources, a lot of money, and they trade for a company or organization. But what you want to be is simply, I want you to be an observer. An observer is a type of retail trader who observes the movement of institutions to look for clues that institutions leave behind, to trade and be with institutions, because that's what it does. Every timestamp, every price that you see on the chart has been stamped through a computerized system. The question is, who are those buyers and who are those sellers? There is a buyer, there's a seller over here on an institutional trading, and there is a buyer and seller on the opposite side, which is a retailer. So this is the VIX part of the CBOE. I took this photo last time I was there. Here in the middle is simply your market makers. Here on the side, those are your brokers or traders. Either they trade for a big institution or they have enough money, a lot of money, to trade for themselves or some form of a company. Okay, so tip number one is do not become a retail trader. You will lose 90% of the time. Be an observer and always know the players of the game. So is trading gambling? Well, according to dictionary.com, these are the definitions: in which you will win or lose money or possessions, to bet money or other valuable things, to risk losing an amount of money or in a game of or bet, to risk losing something valuable or important in order to do or achieve something. This we call gambling. Life itself is a gamble. You cross the road, that's gambling. You are going to parachuting, that's gambling, right? You don't know. You're eating not healthy food, that's pure gambling, because you don't know the next day. You could just end up being in a hospital and end up being dead. You just don't know. That's why in trading, people say, "Ooh, that's gambling." Yeah, everything we do is gambling. But you need to define what is gambling based on risk. There's a non-professional gambler and there's a professional gambler. A non-professional gambler is someone who makes uneducated, high-risk decisions. They trade for fun. They trade casually as a hobby and want to make money fast. That is pure gambling. But if you are now want to be a professional gambler, then you are highly skilled and spend years being proficient. Professional gamblers trade for money to have a steady income. They have developed a skill to be consistent rather than looking at it as a one-time jackpot event. So we are not into the one-time jackpot event. We are not into making money quickly. It is a skill that it has to be developed, and hence time and money has to put into place. There's no easy way out, unfortunately. All right, so tip number two is to be consistent, probable trader. You need to have the ability to be a professional gambler. So here simply you need to ask whether if you're a risk taker. It is imperative actually to be profiled in regards to personal behavior because of based on risk. Everybody's different. And hence is why our methodologies they all work in any form of risk profile. So the third tip is that to be a consistent profitable trader, traders are risk takers. It is imperative for you to take a risk, a calculated risk. So they know the risk, they take full responsibility of the risks, and they accept the risk. So do you really have what it takes to be a consistent profitable trader? Well, I believe there's a 10-3-1 formula in business. In trading, it's also the same, meaning that statistics show that if there is going to be 10 people in the room, 30% will take action and only one will be consistent. So the question is why? It's because of the awareness and the attitude. But if once all of the 30% of people will take action and there's a certain process, then my goal is to have all those 30% or those three to be consistent, not just one. One will be faster than others though, some will take longer, provided that they get the constant and consistent awareness, then we'll be able to be consistent at one point in time. Tip number 4 is mainly the work ethic. So to be a consistent profitable trader, you will need to know who you are as a trader, your purpose, and why you're trading. You'll need to be meticulous, disciplined, and have a high level of integrity. You will need hours of practice. To do this, you will need passion and love for the game of trading. So what is a hobby and what is a business? Well, we discussed that. A hobby is simply you're doing it for fun. A business is you're doing it for money. Will you trade part-time or full-time will all be dependent on your personal situation, like your occupation, whether you're working full-time, the amount of money you may have, the knowledge that you currently have. Maybe you don't have enough knowledge, the trading skill that you have, your trading experience, your family status, whether you're single, married with no kids, or married with kids. So these are needs all to be taken into consideration. So once you know your intention, all your focus, determination, passion, commitment, and motivation is to take massive action to get educated properly. Very important. Number 2 is about preparation. The step 2 of the process from knowing your intention is not about preparation. So every time we put in a trade or we go to trade, we're going to battle against another person who's also thinking of buying or selling. It's the opposite of the two. So you will need to prepare yourself mentally, also technically and physically. Preparing mentally is knowing the inner game of trading. You'll need to know who you are as a trader. You'll need to know your belief systems, mainly your limiting beliefs that will sabotage your trading success. You'll need to know your values that will support your trading success. You'll need to know your emotional needs. That's why profiling is very important, and the reason being based on your personal behavior. You also need to know whether you're a type of person who's going to be a momentum trader, a scalper, a day trader, a swing trader, a position trader, a trend follower. And hence, once again, I'm giving you a lot of condensed piece of information here, Joe, and then that's why it's confusing to some, or they don't know where to go. But at least from me giving you all of these, you will know exactly, I'm giving you some formal guidance on where to do it and how to do it. So you need to know what kind of trader you are, whether if you're an addictive trader or you trade to make money. This is part of the profile. The thing is that addictive traders are not aware of themselves. They trade for the sake of trading. Someone who is not an addictive trader, on the other hand, is they trade to make money. Hence, also knowing your purpose, your vision, your mission as a trader. And that's why preparation, goal setting, we do this on a weekly basis, is very important. So we have a class called the Trading Psychology 101. It's an 8-week trading course on a live class program. But if you do it on your own, we also have a self-learning program, and it's really up to you based on your circumstance. And also we have a one-on-one depending on where you want to be. You want to make it quicker, faster than one-on-one. You want an 8-week process on a live class like this, or you do it on your own depending on yourself. Okay, you can either quicker or faster. And then we also have a support basically from there. So for Psychology 101, you're going to learn more about your belief systems, your value systems, your emotional needs, your habits, simply to build the mental foundations of successful trading through self-awareness, which can be also utilized and be used actually outside of training, which is it's very powerful. 2, preparing technically. There's 4 different foundation and technical analysis. In my opinion, is simply knowing price action very well, because everything's all about price. the 3 dimensions of price, the energy flow of price, how to determine the speed of price, and how to forecast future price movement. You'll need to learn the probability of when to enter and when to exit, how to determine your risk, how to determine your money management, risk management, and also knowing that in our beginner level, actually every person, doesn't matter whether if they're novice, intermediate, or sometimes advanced, if they want to learn from us, because I don't know, and I no longer assume. Sometimes I believe they're good, they tell me they're good, but in actual fact they're not. So very similar, when I started, I had to put and strip everything apart, and then to start from scratch, build a foundation, and this is the foundation of it, through price, learning the macro, global, economical fundamental of things, because everything is all connected, from the S&P, the Dow, the VIX, resources, gold, oil, the 30-year yield from the bond market, all the way to currencies. And then it's important to know the energy flow of price that creates trends, supply and demand, which is the most important part, is simply basic economics. And once you know that, it becomes easier, where when we go to the intermediate level, it becomes by adding more indicators or tool sets to create a higher probability of winning. And then there's advanced stuff that we go through where we're not using any form of indicators, but back to pure price, but going through the science behind it, because there is a science behind technical analysis and behind trading based on energies and person's emotions. So by preparing spiritually, you need to control, you need to know how to control your emotions of fear, greed, and anger, how to be patient, how to be abundant, how to be focused, how to be motivated, how to be intuitive. And hence, for our continuation of 101 is Trading Psychology 202, where we do a lot of visualization and meditation and coaching to build focus, concentration, inspiration, motivation, and simply to build the intuitive process that we do have internally anyway, which has always been in there since birth. So to prepare physically, and last but not least, to prepare physically is by eating, the awareness of eating healthy, getting hydrated, getting well rested, by exercising on a daily basis. There's a really good book by Ellen Williams, actually not by Robert Coppell, called The Intuitive Trader. And part of that is Ellen Williams, a PhD who interviewed traders from the CME when it was still open. And she stated very well that the best traders condition themselves psychologically and physically for success. They have running programs, they go to the gym, they meditate, they're careful about what they eat. In short, they take excellent care of themselves. Because trading is stressful, and I'm not gonna lie, it is stressful at times, especially if you're going against the flow of price. So last but not least, by developing a trading methodology, it is imperative for you to run a 100% trading method that can identify objective entries and exits, objective risk management techniques, money management techniques, and that, by the way, picking tops and bottoms are possible. So in terms, after the person finishes the beginner program, they go to the intermediate. So there is a practical exam that every beginner will do just to see fit, or to see what their weaknesses are and what their strengths. And then they go to intermediate. Basically, it's an ongoing trading course until they become consistent. Then they go to advanced. And once they finish that, the goal of the trader is to be able to trade so they can manage their own portfolio from trading currencies, stocks, Forex, with exception of options. And that's where I guide them. I bring him or to a different teacher, from someone from Chicago who trades on the trading floor, trading options, and they're masterful at it, which I am not masterful at options. I do very basic options, and that's it. Okay, so there's two different methods, method 2 and method 3. Number 3, step 3 of the process is to practice. Practice, backtest what you have learned in a real trading environment, demo trade it. Then I tell students to put into once they get in their intermediate, they open up a $500 account. We use Forex as a vehicle because it has a lot of advantages compared to trading or learning how to trade using stocks, Forex, futures, or options. So to practice the techniques in a live trading environment, to trade live and execute in a live trading environment, and hence we have a live trading class on a daily basis, to prove that the theory also works in real time, because anybody can teach trading, but where the challenge lies is simply demonstrating the theory in real time and executing the trade and how to do it from there. Number 4 is competing. You need to compete with yourself. You need to prove that once your trading is simply, can you be very consistent from there? So that's why the objective is to be a consistent, profitable trader, which we discussed from a club level, national level, world class level. And this is the advantage of using Forex as a vehicle to learn to trade, because the micro component, the media component standard, compared to trading stocks where you need to have a minimum of $25,000 if you want to trade more than 3 times a week. I mean, who does have $25,000 at the very beginning just to learn how to trade, right? Not everybody will. So that is to prove to yourself that you can be consistent. Once you can show consistency, then you go from one step to another level from there. Step 5, the tip is simply expect to lose more at the beginning while gaining the skills of a professional observer, rather than thinking of winning all the time and then you're not learning from the mistakes simply from there. Tip, don't make it personal if you lose. This means you need to improve or adjust your trading technique, get coaching, and your coach will assist you in that area. Know the tips of the trading methods, and hence, it doesn't matter if you do it, learn it from us, if you learn it from someone else, it is imperative for you to ask the teacher is simply, hey, look, what are the mechanics of what you're teaching? If they can do that, and then if they can prove it in a live trading environment, then that's great. Keep on working on your trading psychology, adjust your trading style if need be. Last but not least, in terms of the last step, is to repeat the process. If the process that you have created works and it's making you money consistently, then refrain from tampering it. If it's not broken, then don't fix it. Visualize the same process of success over and over again. Be meticulous, be disciplined, be humble, and be aware of euphoria. So in summary, as you can see here, Joe, there's a tremendous amount of work involved in becoming a successful, consistent, profitable trader. For most people, this would represent too much hard work. If you are one of these people, or many people, then I highly recommend not to trade. For those willing to put in the effort, it presents a clearly defined path towards success. So where to from here is simply, we have 3 phases to successful trading: the beginner, intermediate, and advanced level. And we have a self-learning program, like I said, a class-based program, and private mentoring, where all those 3 get unlimited support, unlimited feedback. Of course, private mentoring has more advantages than class-based or self-learning, and part of the trading community that has the same mission to make money consistently from trading. And that's the whole point. The whole point for everybody is to make money. That is the end goal, and to be consistent at it. Of course, every individual will have challenges depending on their 6 inches within their ears, but that's where we are at. So if you have any questions here, Joe, please email me or call me. My phone number is 650-390-7104. That's my personal number. And if you are interested as well, I give out 90% off on the beginner self-learning program. Normally it's $4.99. But if you choose to take action today, I like people who take action, because in trading, you need to make quick decisions. And so you'll still get everything, but for the, if you want to do the class base, then I'm not going to give 90% though, but I'm going to give 50% off based on that. But for the 90% off the beginning self-learning, you do it on your own, but you get the support classes where you get 2 live classes a week for the support. You are still going to get 10 to 5 days a week for the live trading, the group coaching on Friday, and all classes anyway. There's always some form, one way or the other, some form of coaching. Okay, so to make it a sweeter deal too, I give a money back guarantee after 30 days, provided, okay, there is a disclaimer, provided that you follow everything and that you attend all the support classes. And then if you're game to take the challenge, Joe, then simply just email me, let me know, and I will set you up and you're ready to rock. So 650-390-7104, or you know my email address, which I emailed you personally last night and today. So if you have any questions, Joe, let me know. But other than that, we are done. So it is pretty quick since I know that you're also busy on one end. So this one is recorded. You can listen to it again. But if you don't have any, then we will part ways. Any questions, Joe? If you're still there. Okay, Joe, I gotta go. I have to go pick up my kids right now. All right. Have a good day. See you, Joe. Bye.